Joe Amato's car moving to the staging lanes for the semifinals in the Top Fuel division. As Amato gets ready to go, we continue though with the Chief Auto Parts Winternationals in the Pro Stock division. We already saw that one semifinal matchup, and now we're ready for the second semifinal. Bob Glidden going up against Jerry Eckman.
And Jerry Eckman is in the bright yellow Pontiac automobile, now based out of Central Ohio. Has 5 wins overall in his Pro Stock career. A lot of guys would kill for that. Bob Glidden, comparing the two, has won 80 times, if you can imagine that. Not even our pal Don Garland's here is even close to that. In fact, no one is. A record that may never be broken. Right, they move forward to stage. The yellow car is Eckman, the red car is Glidden. No one real anxious here to get the job done, Don.
It's a staging duel, and sometimes these Pro Stocks really get into them. It's an advantage sometimes to stage last, depending on how you have your clutch pedal set up. And so in this case, I don't think Bob wants to stage first.
That would appear to be. Let's see who breaks first. It's going to be Eckman. Eckman says, I'm done playing this game. Glidden finally nudges in. A great start. But it is Eckman controlling the race. Jerry Eckman, a 7:17 at 192 miles per hour to a 7:29 per Glidden, not even in the hunt. And that is a new national record.
So the final is set now in the Pro Stock. Jerry Eckman coming off the 7.17 will have the lane choice in his final against Jim Yates. What a setting as we move. Well, just like the Epler crew, it's a family affair with the Yates crew as well.
I tell you, the Yates crew, they are having so much fun. They started to show a lot of muscle at the end of last year, making it to the semis, but they've never made it to a final. Now that they have, can they parlay it to a win, their first ever? We're about 7 seconds away from finding out. Jerry Eckman, the bright yellow Pontiac in the near lane, the blue and white Pontiac and old General Motors Pro Stock final round. Let's watch them. Jerry Eckman has pummeled this field today in the Bill Orendorff-owned automobile. Another teen, a 7.19 to go with his national record 7:17. A big top speed, 192 miles an hour.
Well, Jim Yates took a starting line advantage, as we can see on the screen, but it didn't last long. Jerry Eckman's car has just been too powerful all day long. In the middle, it runs so strong. He capped a perfect day with a Winter Nationals crown.
Jerry Eckman has won the Winter Nationals yet again. A great job, a 7:19, a huge speed of 192.
Oh, great, Steve. I figured it would run in the teens again. I was afraid we didn't have quite enough clutch in it because it cooled down pretty quick, but you know, Steve, I don't even know what to say. I said if I ever got back to the winner's circle here, I'd have a big speech. I'm lost for words. All I can thank is my sponsors, Pontiac and Pennzoil, and my teammates for the job they do to let me drive this fast car.
I'm sure they thank you as well for a great job.
Well, thanks a lot, Steve. We're thrilled to be here, believe me.
What a way to start a season.
We are now ready for the showdown of the Top Fuels. It'll be Kenny Bernstein.
TNN Motorsports presents the American Sports Cavalcade. A panorama of speed, color, drama, and excitement. The American Sports Cavalcade.
Each year, North Carolina and Rockingham International Dragway host the elite from the ranks of NHRA Winston Championship Drag Racing. They are the champions, led by the men of Top Fuel. 8 of the finest cars and crews, challenging to see who can take home the $25,000 winner's purse. Of course, the fiberglass-bodied nitro rockets of the funny car ranks take a backseat to no one when it comes to raw excitement and crowd-pleasing performance. An equally impressive cash bonus awaits the likes of Force, Hoffman, Pedregon, and Oswald. But it is from the ranks of the full-bodied marbles known as Pro Stock that the difference between champion and also-ran can be measured in thousandths of a second. $16,000 await the man with enough concentration, nerve, and raw courage to tame an unforgiving racetrack and emerge as the best of the best. The elite of Winston Championship Drag Racing. Cash bonuses for top qualifiers have already been awarded, and Jerry Eckman took the $10,000 in Pro Stock, while Cruz Pedregon topped the 8-car field in Funny Car, and Eddie Hill, fresh off a great win at the Gator Nationals, continues the record performances here. Race cars going on their 5th season are not supposed to do what Eddie Hill's car is doing. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Evans and welcome to the money tree they call the Winston Invitational. Eddie Hill, a lot of so-called drag racing experts, including maybe yours truly, said that even though you set the record 2 weeks ago at 480, that this old car with the motor way out couldn't run this well in Rockingham. We're eating our words.
Well, what can I say? The old car does have some magic in it. It worked very well here. And of course, we were lucky to guess that close on a chin-up, but we'll take a little good luck. We've had plenty of bad.
$10,000, not a bad day's work for 4.91 seconds.
Oh, yeah, we need the money, too. We need to buy some more parts.
You feeling good?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the car feels good, too. Did you notice how good it sounded a while ago?
Oh, boy.
That's the way it sounded at Gainesville.
Okay, go get them.
We're going to try to.
What's the funny car story? Well, let's check in with Brock Yates.
Daddy Don Garlits.
Thank you, Brock. This is the front end of the hottest Trans Am Pontiac on the Winston circuit today, driven by Jerry Eckman. He came into this race, he set a 7:17, a new track record, low ET of the event. Going up to the starting line, he picks up $10,000 prize money for that low ET. He gets by the first round with a 7:21, but Warren Johnson ran 7:19, Jerry. It seems like he's hot on your heels. Can you handle him?
Don, I don't know. We're going to handle him. You know, he's on the opposite side of the ladder. And if we get to the final and he's there, I'm going to mash on it with both feet.
Sounds good to me. Okay, the top fielders are ready to go with round one. Let's get it on.
Thank you. Still looking for a sponsor, Oldsmobile.
Well, here's a guy that's got plenty of sponsorship and a couple of Winston Invitational trophies on his shelf already. Jerry Eckman, Big Daddy, has not only won this event twice, but he's won 2 major NHRA events already this season.
And this should be one fine race. Both of these cars come into this round with a 7:21 elapsed time, almost dead even. This race will be decided by who leaves the starting line first.
And backing into position is his opponent, that is Bruce Allen, in the rare Morrison Lumina. But first, let's go to Steve.
Don Beverly, a 7:26, put away that always feared Dodge.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a bad run on our part. The car shook, and I don't know what Scott ran. I never really saw him, but, you know, I was really worried about Scott. The car really runs good, and I think Scott's done a good job in the car.
This is a tough track for a Pro Stock car.
Well, I'll tell you what, the start line is really good, Steve, and then it goes away, and then you get loose. We've had a terrible time figuring it out this weekend.
Great job, then.
Thank you a lot.
All right, Jerry Eckman backing into position. Eckman, as we said earlier, has had a great season so far with that Bill Orndorff automobile out of Newark, Ohio. He qualified number 1 and beat Ray Franks in round 1. Bruce Allen beat Jim Yates in an upset in round number 1. He, of course, out of Arlington, Texas.
And Bruce qualified in the number 9 position with a 7:24, so he's giving up about 0.07 of a second as far as their qualifying numbers are concerned. Already moving in is Allen, the top light lit. Eckman will follow suit. Then they bring the RPMs up to about 8,000, 2,350-pound cars, 500 cubic inch engines. Can't be any bigger than that. 2 great big carburetors the size of 55-gallon drums. Gasoline in the tank. Eckman finally stages, and away they go. It's Eckman away first. Oh, Bruce Allen, Brock, all over the racetrack.
Oh, over the racetrack at that trouble spot mid-track. And Jerry Eckman goes on to win it at a 7:25, 191 miles an hour.
So we saw exactly what Don Beverly was talking about in that interview. It's good up. Well, if you're a Pro Stock fan, turn up the volume and buckle up, because we have got the Final 4 here at the Winston Invitational. I'm Steve Evans, along with Brock Yates and Big Daddy Don Garlits. And Brock, first, who do you like between Jerry Eckman and Bob Glidden?
Well, I'll tell you what, I think that Eckman's got to play the favorite's role here based on the way they've been running all season long. 2 major event victories already, and Glidden's struggling, but he's coming on better now. He seems to maybe start to find a handle on that Pro.
Big Daddy?
Well, I'll tell you what, I like Glidden because he's hungry, and he comes into this round with lane choice. That means he's right there in the performance. Eckman can step up, but I look for Glidden to really give us something to see here. Perhaps he's going to win this race.
And he had lane choice going in, and Eckman is not crazy about that far lane. That's the yellow Pinto Pontiac you see right there. He'd prefer to be on the near side where Glidden is.
Well, that's the lane that's giving everybody problems. No question about that.
All right, they're away. It's a good start. Glidden's right there. Glidden could pull this off. No! By a whisker. It's the Bill Orndorff owned. You just saw him. Jerry Eckman driven Pontiac 725 to a 729. But I think Glidden had something off the starting line that made it even closer, Don.
Let's watch that start. Look at Glidden take that whole shot starting line advantage away from Jerry Eckman, who is excellent on the starting line. It just shows that Glidden really wanted to win. But the problem was in the middle of the racetrack. Glidden's car must have lost a little bit of traction, gave Eckman the advantage, and just by ever so much of a whisker, Eckman wins the race.
Well, I love it when these drivers come rolling into here yelling, "Who won? Did I win? Yes, you won."
Oh, man, that's drag racing. I saw Bob all the way, and I know he saw me, and I don't think he knew who won.
725, and it was a handful.
It certainly was. It certainly was a handful. That wasn't one of my best runs, but we got the win, and we're in the final.
See you then.
Okay, and now we're going to find out who he will face. And it's an all-Oldsmobile, all-Warren Johnson confrontation coming up. That's the boss, Warren Johnson right there. That's his driver, Don Beverly, in the other white Oldsmobile Cutlass, unsponsored automobile at this point. So we'll see whether or not the employee is at work and beat up on the boss.
Well, I don't know if you can call him an employee because it is Beverly paying Johnson to drive that car, and you can bet that he's not going to lay down not a whisker, Don Garros, I don't think.
Well, as we look at the performance of the previous round, it looks like Johnson is a standout. 717 to Beverly 726, but you never know in drag racing.
Let's remember there's no Winston points at stake, just money. Beverly skating around. Whoa! The Johnson team puts on one of the best races of the day. How about a 722 for Warren, winning it to a 724? And the reaction times, as we'll see in a replay in here in just a second, were absolutely identical.
They don't get much closer than that. A .456 to a .455. I mean, that to me is dead on. The difference was just in the middle of the track. The 724 for Beverly to the 722 for Johnson. But I'll tell you what, if Johnson had made one little slip, Beverly would have gotten by him, and it would have been a different story.
So the renter, as it were, loses to the landlord, who will move into the finals against Jerry Eckman. Warren Johnson and the Oldsmobile, Jerry Eckman and the Pontiac. Johnson has lane choice, but only by a few fractions of a second.
Les Figueroa, we congratulate them all. It's never easy in Winston NHRA Championship drag racing on this level. Talk about not easy. Warren Johnson is up against Jerry Eckman, the Pro Stock final. A Pontiac versus an Oldsmobile. There you see Jerry Eckman, the points leader. That's not a factor here. Earlier, I talked to both. Jerry, what is the most important thing you have to do to this car to beat Warren Johnson?
The most important thing, try to make it go faster. He's got a little slight advantage on us going into the final, kind of like last week, and hopefully we can tune this thing back up and be ready for him. He's running well, and it's going to be a good final.
Warren Johnson preparing the clutch. That could be the secret to beat Eckman.
Well, this track is mighty tricky, so it's probably going to be the secret. The driver reacting on time and the clutch doing what it's supposed to.
So much. We consider the engine always as the key, but it becomes more and more in all the pro categories the clutch is the secret element to victory here. That, and as Warren Johnson says, reaction time, which is always critical in pro stock competition.
Here we go. This is it for $16,000. Eckman in the fore lane, Johnson in the near lane. Johnson has troubles in high gear and fades. Jerry Eckman has won it for the third time. A 723 to a 740. Probably something in the transmission or the clutch. He just didn't have that big charge on the big end. 191 miles an hour per Eckman.
As we watch the replay, we see Johnson take a very decided starting line advantage and start to move away. It looks like he was going to pull out another one of those patented teens with that Pro Stocker. Eckman was trailing a little bit, but then something went wrong, and Eckman's car moved ahead. He didn't run an exceptionally good time, 723, just normal, but Johnson was way behind, and Eckman's the champ.
Jerry Eckman, congratulations. You've now won 3 of these Winston Invitationals.
Great, Steve. Yeah, I think the odds makers wrote us off on this deal, but you can't fault this Pennzoil Pontiac and its crew. That's what we're made out of. We come here to win, and we did, and we're thrilled to death.
Take it to the bank.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Brock?
Okay, Steve, great show on the part of this team all year long.
When Jerry Eckman, top Pro Stock champion, pulls his Pennzoil dragster to the starting line, he selects only the very best products, like Gum Out Extra Fuel Injector Cleaner.
Hi, I'm Jerry Eckman. When your car's fuel injectors are clogged or dirty, you need a cleaner with extra strength. That's why I use Gum Out Extra Fuel Injector Cleaner, and you should too.
Gum Out products are available at Kmart. The quality you need, the price you want.
All right, Pro Stock driver Jerry Eckman's had a great season in 1990 when he won 4 NHRA events and the Winston Invitational. But in the first 8 races this year, he's not made it to the winner's circle. The Pennzoil driver joins us in the studio. Don't you hate that when they start off by saying, well, but he hadn't won anything this year? But you guys are still 3rd in the points and doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're still holding on to our number 3rd spot just by a very slim margin, but we had such a good year last year. Once you been to that winner's circle, you just want to get there again.
No substitute for doing anything except finishing first, right?
That's right. That's right.
Let's talk a little bit about Pro Stock. The interest I think I've got is, of course, Alderman has been so tough this year, and Glidden appears to be gaining momentum again. Of course, Larry Morgan's tough. You're always tough out there. Transmissions apparently are on everyone's mind in the Pro Stock division of NHRA today, with what you call, what's been run in most of them now, a planetary type, and now there's a new 5-speed transmission. Tell us a little bit about it.
That's right, Pat. The standard transmission that we've run in Pro Stock for the last many years now, since the early 70s, has been what they call a Linko planetary transmission, and it has clutches and clutch plates. And this transmission that's come out now is a gear-type transmission. And the claim is that the gear-type transmission certainly doesn't absorb as much torque and power lost through the transmission as the planetary type, and there's probably some validity in that.
All right, but the problem is that only a couple of guys have got these things, and the rest of you guys are going to be scrambling against that advantage, at least from now to the end of the season.
That's right. The availability is the problem. We can't seem to get anything right away, and I don't know how much longer we'll have to wait. We could have possibly 6 to 8 weeks to get a transmission, and a lot of points can be earned in that length of time.
A lot of people don't realize this, but your operation has been based out in California for a long time. You guys have since moved that operation to Ohio. That certainly can take the focus off, if you will, of running well every week. How have you combated that, so to speak?
That's true, Pat. We made a big move in the middle part, or in April of this year. We moved our whole facility from California out to the Midwest so we'd be more centrally located. But that has really detracted from our race program because you put so much effort into the move.
Sure.
Now that we're operational, I think we'll see it turn around a little bit. We'll start to produce a little more, and I hopefully we can get out there and catch that number 1 guy.
Well, being 3rd in the points, you're headed towards certainly the second half of the season. Is there anything you've got to do mentally, Jerry, to be better than you have been in the first part of this year?
Well, Pat, I don't know. I've tried to drive a lot better this year than I did last year, and I think my reaction time reflects that. Last year, I reflect back and I see how many races I lost early. And when it get down to the end of the season, you start thinking about those early round losses that could have cost me the championship. So I've really worked on that over the winter, and I've been doing pretty well so far with that.
Back to the transmission thing for just a second. How much would you estimate, if it's working like it's supposed to work, this new 5-speed, how much more of an advantage could that be over this transmission most everybody's running now?
Well, I haven't had the opportunity to test one personally, but I hear 2 to 3 hundredths of a second possibly.
That could be the difference in qualifying 16th, which is what you got to compete to make the final round, and qualifying up in the top 10. 2 100ths. I mean, the field is so close.
Oh, the parity in Pro Stock so close. The last race, number 1 to number 16, was only 8 hundredths of a second. And if you're talking 3 hundredths of a second, if you're in the middle of the pack, you may not be qualified if you don't have one. So time will tell.
All right, we want to wish you a lot of luck. Thanks to the Pennzoil folks for sending you by. We know they're a great sponsor and appreciate you coming and spending some time with us.
Thanks, Pat. My pleasure.
Good luck to you the rest of the year. Coming up, Waltrip surges towards the top.